here on the Ottawa River. We've got Jason Cox, our pilot for the day. Fantastic Moby, who may or may not be our good luck charm, because we certainly have caught a lot of fish. And then truly, the man behind it all is Gunther, Canada's only blind angler, but more importantly, I think, professional angler. I like that. How does one become a professional angler?
Well, they call them pro staff, but really we're promotional staff. We're there to promote different products and different brands and things like that. You know, the brands we use and love, like Shimano and Ranger and Evinrude, you know, those are my favorite brands.
Well, you must be doing something right, though, because you've got a podcast now that how many people are tuning into?
100,000 people a week.
100,000 people a week. And what's the podcast called?
It's Bluefish Radio, and you can find it on iTunes or you can find it on bluefishradio.com.
Okay, and now Bluefish Radio is the name of the podcast, but Bluefish is something that you started how many years ago?
I started that in 2012, and it's a charity, and the podcast is one of the offshoots from that charity. So it's blue, it's about the water, it's about fish, and it's about the future of fish and fishing.
Okay, and is that the basis behind the charity as well?
Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk a little bit first about the charity itself. Why is it so important that people keep an eye out for our lakes, our rivers, and make sure that they're sustained?
You know, we're anglers. We spend more time on the water than any other group, any other type of sport or hobby, or even conservationists. Anglers spend more time on the water looking, observing, you know, trying to figure things out. We are really natural-born scientists. We're citizen scientists. So to take that and to be able to understand that using a little bit of information about conservation, sustainability, stewardship, and put those things together, that's what I'm trying to do, is give them the knowledge to better understand what it is actually taking place below the waves.
Okay.
You know, so you can't see it, but doesn't mean it's not happening.
Let's offer our viewers a couple of tips on how they can do their part.
Well, look. We were catching fish, right? And we're taking pictures. Having the cameras ready when we catch the fish is important. Not get the camera out after we catch the fish, and so the fish is out of the water for, you know, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Really, you should only have your fish out of the water for 10 to 30 seconds maximum.
Okay.
I mean, they're holding their breath in the air, right? They're not breathing in the air. They're breathing underwater.
Of course.
Yeah.
And when I'm taking that picture, how should I be holding the fish?
You want to support the belly. So big fish, you don't hold them so the organs are all being stretched down to the tail. Or a big fish, you know, you want to support the belly. Fish live in zero gravity type situation. You take them out, they're affected by gravity. They're not ready for that. So you need to give them that sort of support, the same support they feel in the water.
Okay. How important is it for us to not only take our garbage away with us when we're out on the water, but also be conscientious of what we're putting into our toilets and into our drains at our house?
You know, it's one thing, shoreline cleanup, that's great. Pack it in, pack it out, that's great. Don't throw your old fishing line out. You know, it just gets to be a disaster for all sorts of critters and birds and things. But, you know, what we put into our toilets and drains and sinks, that doesn't get cleaned out of the, by the systems. It takes the chunky stuff out, but the chemicals, the pharmaceuticals, the cleaning products, all of that stuff goes right back into the river.
The water filtration plant does not take care of any of that?
No.
Okay. So we should be careful about what we're putting into our drains, because it inevitably ends up right here where we are fishing today.
Yeah.
Now, what is the shore cleanup kit that you offer through Bluefish?
So I do that in cooperation with the City of Ottawa, and it's just a small biodegradable wrapper, and inside there's a garbage bag, a pair of biodegradable gloves. So everything is sort of composts in the garbage, but the whole idea is just to keep it in your tackle bag, the glove box of your boat. If you see a mess at the launch on the shoreline, you got a kit to clean it up. And just by picking one of these things up, and you can get them at bluefishcanada.org, we'll send you them out, no charge. You know, you're making a sort of a commitment to say, this is the first step I'm going to take to make sure that the resource is going to be around for the future.
Okay, we've run out of time, but because the podcast is something that's new since you and I saw each other last year, what kinds of things do you talk about on it?
I'm always talking to amazing people who are doing really cool things to ensure the future of fish. So biologists, citizen scientists, conservationists, you know, all these people that are just doing stuff it's really cool.
All right, and again, people can find that on iTunes, right?
Yep.
Under the name?
Bluefish Radio.
Bluefish Radio. You'll hear Lawrence as well as the different guests that he brings on weekly, right? Okay, back to fishing. We still have another hour. No, we still get another hour out here on the water.